My name is Dee Jay Alicia. I've been DJing since 1996. I started off with steppers music, and in about 2010, I started doing exclusively house music. What I like most about DJing is it gives me a chance to release all the tensions and frustrations and feelings and emotions and that kind of thing. And it's nice that I can get that release and help people that come to hear me play on the dance floor get rid of those problems as well. It's an honor for me to be chosen to spin at the Chosen Few Picnic this year, or the Chosen Few Music Festival this year. This is the second year in a row for me. Last year was really emotional. It was my first time playing at the picnic. It's such an honor to be chosen to play a second time at the picnic. And hopefully you guys will come out on Sunday. Check me out. Bring your friends, families, tents, barbecue grills. Come and stay. Come Saturday for the Chosen Few, and Sunday I'll be there. My mom, when she was growing up, used to live across the street from a record store. So she was real avid into like skating, things music related, skating, stuff like that. So, of course, back in the day, it was all about getting the records and getting the stuff for your house or whatever. So by the time I was born, I already had like a record collection. Wow. Right, I had like, hundreds of 45s. She had 78s. I still got some of those. So to keep me occupied, she bought me this little record player. And so while she was cooking and doing all the stuff, cleaning around the house, I would be playing these 45s. So the 45s was like mainly, doo-wops and steppers, what would be considered steppers music, now. So I would be playing songs like the Impressions, the Emeralds, and stuff like that. So I grew up listening to that, and as I grew in teenager in Chicago, music expanded. I think I really hate to be biased, but I think that was probably the best music of our lives.
I would have to agree.
All right.
It's literally the foundation of all modern music.
It's
the foundation of hip hop. It's the foundation of house.
Exactly.
It's the foundation of everything that's birthed.
Exactly. I really do believe that's the best music of our lives. So in growing up, and as everything was forming and transitioning, and I started listening to like funk and pop, and even we had teenage years, we had a channel called MV60. So MV60 was all music all the time, no commercials, and you could hear music from all over the place. And that's when I started getting exposed to people like Billy Idol and Adamant and the Go-Go's, and stuff like that. All the new wave stuff, right? Rock Lobster, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, what is this stuff, right? So we transitioned on, and even prior to that, they had, I can't remember what the station was, but it was a station, and you had the 900 number, and you had to call the 900 number. Rock the box, right. We had to call the 900 number or whatever. Then they'd play your song, and then it seemed like it was the same 10 songs in rotation all day because everybody wanted to hear the same songs. But then we moved on to MV60, which I loved. I really wish it was a station like MV60 on now. And MV60, of course, morphed into MTV. And they started doing the shows and the reality shows and all that stuff like that. It kind of lost its zeal. But MV60 was a very influential channel in expanding my horizons as far as music is concerned.
They were basically playing stuff that you didn't have at home.
Yeah, that's how I got introduced to like the Police and all that stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I really feel like today, Tiny Desk and stuff like that is doing that, like giving exposure to artists that you wouldn't normally hear, which I love as well. Tiny Desk. Shout out to Tiny Desk. Oh my goodness, I saw Maxwell when it premiered. So, in moving forward, when I first started DJing, It was kind of a natural progression for me to go into, of course I did mobile parties, birthday parties, and that kind of thing. But it was kind of a natural progression for me to go into steppers because those were the records that I was playing, for my mom, the stylistics and the dramatics and, you know what I mean, and the Marvin Gayes and the Curtis Mayfields and that kind of stuff. I was already very familiar with that kind of stuff. So I started doing the stepper sets at a pretty young age because I was already pretty much immersed in steppers music as a child.
When you hear her call. All right, we're back at Steppin' Club 7. Good music, good stepping music. We had Jesse Powell and You're All I Need, and of course the Temptations and Some Enchanted Evening. I have a big smile on my face because I'm with this big fine woman here. Alicia, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, Herb.
Hey, how you like my suit? This is my Mario Uomo suit. And I'm going to stand up in it, and I'm going to do the deep dusting. All right, we're going to do Sylvia Robinson and Pillow Talk. Sylvia Robinson said she wrote Pillow Talk for Al Green.
At Unity and in high school in general, I really didn't go out much. I used to go to, a couple of high school parties here and there. Of course, Mendel, went to Mendel. Unity had high school parties. Quigley South had high school parties. But my mom had a car accident when I was 11. And she was diagnosed with epilepsy at that time, and she started having seizures. So I couldn't be far away from the crib, you know what I mean? I had to be right in case something happened. I had to be able to get to her immediately, in case something happened. So it was almost easier for me to just stay home. And so my house was the house that all the people used to come and sit on the porch. So we would sit on the porch and we would listen to BMX, we would listen to KKC, we would listen to, so we got the house music, but it was, I guess you would call it like more commercial house music than like underground, what they were playing at the clubs. You know what I mean? So,
KKC played a little bit more to that style, or no?
They still were a little bit more commercialized because it's still, even to this day, I'm hearing songs that DJs play that actually went to the warehouse and stuff like that. They'll play a song and everybody will react to the song, and I'll be like, "What's that?" You know what I mean? Like, cause I didn't get the opportunity to experience that. But yeah, we were definitely the kids on the porch with the boom box. I grew up with Ben Wilson. He lived a couple of blocks over. I know, right? And we went to grammar school together for a short time, and then, high school, he went to Simeon.
More than 600 people were murdered in Chicago last year, and police officials say the homicide rate could end up being 30% higher this year because of increased incidents of violence, such as the kind that claimed the life of 17-year-old Ben Wilson. Police have identified the suspects in his murder as members of a street gang. Those gangs are responsible for 61 murders so far this year.
But yeah, we hung out, we listened to the music on the porch and got it in that way. And I was DJing slightly at that point in time because I had my little cassette player that probably everybody did this. But somebody would play something, and I'll be like, okay, I like that song, but not that much to be on my tape. So I would let the blend go by, and then I would stop the song. And then right before the song went off, I would start it back on the beat. So it'd be, you know what I mean? That pause tape. Yeah. So those were good times. They were good times. I hate that I missed that experience and everything. And I also appreciate you for what you're doing, because when I decided to immerse myself into house music completely, I really wish there were more footage of like Ronnie and Frankie and the scene and that kind of stuff that I could watch and kind of absorb. You know what I mean? Yes, and there's nothing like, there's little clips, on YouTube or whatever. Yeah, it's little clips everywhere, and it's mixes. Ronnie mixes are starting to emerge on YouTube. And because of my algorithm, I get all of, those when they pop up and everything. But I can listen to a mix now that I did live that was bananas at the party because of the energy that was in the room. And I listen to it when I get home and be like, you know, not the same. Not the same. Right. Yeah. So I was just thankful. I was thankful that I did get to meet Frankie. And I did get to listen to a talk that he gave at the Shrine. He did an interview there, and I was able to listen to the interview and get, you know, information on his thoughts and his life and how he got to Chicago and where he was mentally with music at that point in time, you know. And I can see the progression. You know, I'm starting to move through the progression. So it's interesting. It's an interesting journey.
Now let me ask you a slightly controversial question.
Uh-oh, here we go. Fasten my seatbelt.
Okay, well, Little Lewis had a talk a few months ago, and there was a lot of contention.
Again, like you say, everybody has their own interpretation of things that happen. You, I, and a few other people could be standing somewhere and see a situation happen and have 5 different interpretations of what actually happens. Everybody takes in their own perspective of things. Everybody takes in their own timeline of things. And I don't think it's any one person that can say what's the absolute truth and what's not, because everybody has their own perspective as to what's going on. But what I am going to say is that everybody is aging at this point in time, and and memories fade, and memories fade, and things get disjointed in our old age. You know what I mean? It's things now that I try to remember, people's names and situations, and where was I when I did that? And people have to remind me, don't you remember when you did? No, I don't. You know what I mean? And I don't want people to take themselves too seriously when it comes to that. I do want everybody to get their flowers, though. However, I do want everybody to be recognized while they're here to receive their flowers. We tend to not appreciate people while they're here, and then we want to have a big parade for them when they're gone. Let's have a parade now. You know what I mean? Let's have a parade now. We have a lot of pioneers in Chicago. We have a lot of people that push house music forward. And I think one of my mantras is, whether you're internationally known or whether you play at the lounge on Friday nights, you're still part of the story.
Yes.
You're still part of the story. You're still part of pushing this music forward and keeping it alive. You know.
The lounges help support the international DJs.
Right.
How would they even have a following if they didn't have something?
Exactly. Right.
Right.
And who in the lounge would even know, like, who Louis Vega was or Joe Clausel or whatever, you know, unless the music is being played, you know, in all situations, in all where the people are. Exactly right. So, you know, I don't get in any of the arguments about history or who started what or who started, because I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know for sure. I wasn't in the room where I could say, no, this happened or that happened. So I stay completely out of those arguments. All I know is that when the baton was tossed to me or handed to me, I'm going to take it and I'm going to try to represent in the best way I can, you know, in the best way I can. So that there's the end of that sentence. By the time you went away, I never went away. I never went away. I got accepted at Illinois State, and I was going to go to Illinois State, and then I took a hard, long look at things, and I'm an only child. And what I did not want to do was leave my mother alone and be gone away to college and something happened. So I graduated from high school on Thursday, and I started work at Harold Washington College, which was citywide college at that point in time, on Monday. So I had a 4-day weekend, 3-day weekend. And I started work. And I worked for a long time, and it wasn't until I got pregnant with my son that I said it's time for me to get this master's degree. You know, I had gotten my associate because I worked at a college. Went back and got my bachelor's and my master's in a 5-year span because I don't feel like I can preach to my son about what he should be doing and how this college degree will help him if I didn't set an example. So now my son is a senior at Georgia State. So I'm going to let him make the decision at this point in time whether he wants to continue or not. I'm not going to push him into it, but I'm glad that he saw me, watched me go through the struggle that I went through because I had to work full time and go to school full time. And he saw all that happen. And so
he's probably independent like mom was
independent. He is. He's still
be begging for money. Like all teenagers.
Changing my name to Mommy, can you Zell me? But he's like me in the fact that he won't ask me for anything unless it's like right. Has to be important. Yeah.
Is he going into a creative field or?
So I wanted him to go into a creative field because I know what it's like to work a 9 to 5. I know what it's like, you know, to work for an unappreciative employer. I know what it's like, you know what I mean? And so I wanted him to really be an entrepreneur, and I was trying to push him in that direction. He fought me on that, and he got a job. And so now he knows what it's like to work for, you know, from 9 to 5, which I think he really needed that experience to appreciate the other. So now yeah, exactly. And it's not just on these trees. Right, or like that.
Ready? Now is Tom Ross, the House Minority Leader.
Who's that lady?
Who's that lady?
Beautiful lady.
Beautiful lady.
Sexy lady.
Sexy lady.
Real fine.
Yeah, but he's doing great. I'm extremely proud of him. So, I had moved to North Carolina for a year. This was, I had to be about 23, 24, around there. Moved to North Carolina for a year. Didn't particularly care for it. Came back. And when I came back, I didn't have a job. I was just kind of hanging out, you know. And it used to be a liquor store on 87th Street with a pool hall in the back of the liquor store. I was very good at shooting pool, and I didn't have a job.
Pool shark. That my girl.
So I would be in the pool hall, you know, playing like the damsel in distress, like I didn't know, you know, how to play, and I was winning the little money to pay my little cell phone bill and all that stuff like that. And there was a tall, dark gentleman, very quiet, and he had next. And he shot his pool game. He was left-handed, and he shot his pool hand with his left hand, with one hand. And I didn't really even get a chance to touch the table. And I was like, wow, okay, all right. He saw right through me. He saw right through all that little facade. And we started talking and we became friends. And before I knew it, we were dating. We both were working. I started working. I went to school, went back to school, started working. That was my dad's doing. Dad didn't play. Dad was like, you can't be out here pool hustling. Went back to school, started working. And then he had an accident at work. And he hurt his back, right? And so he was like, you know, I can't work, hurt my back, this, that, and the other thing. He went over one of his friend's house, and his friend was DJing. and came home with this tape. And he had the tape playing in the car, and I was like, who made this tape? And he was like, I did. You know, I was at my friend's house, blah, blah, blah. Made this tape. Okay, cool. So time went on. He still couldn't work because of his back. And he's like, I think I'm going to try my hand at DJing again, and this, that, and the other thing. So he started practicing. By this time, we got married. We had gotten married and all this other stuff going on. So he was practicing. And my mom had a friend that owned a DJ pool, C7 Sounds. And
Could you explain what DJ pool is?
so the DJ pool, Les Richmond was in charge of the DJ pool. He owned the DJ pool, and he would do sound. And what he would do would just come up. The people would call C7 Sounds like to book a DJ for an event, wedding, banquet, whatever. And then he would send out the appropriate person for your event. And he would set up the equipment and everything, so you would just bring your crates of records and you come play the event. So Raphael was working for him, and at the same time, I'm in the basement with Raphael while he's practicing, worrying him to death. And I was like, you should mix Moody with 119. And you should mix I'm Hungry with No UFOs. And you should mix, and he just got so mad at me one day. He was like, you should mix I'm Hungry and UFO, No UFOs. And he just stormed out, right? I'm a little sassy. So I was like, okay. So I went over there and started messing with the records. I'm going to see if I can mix it. It ain't mixed. The mixes.
That's why he was mad.
The mixes weren't mixing. The ideas I had, I didn't understand nothing about BPMs. I didn't understand that was 119 and that was 127. I didn't understand anything or whatever, about it or whatever. So he saw I was interested in it, and he calmed down a little bit and he started teaching me. He started making me go through a series of exercises to learn the concepts. So he gave me a crate of records, and he taught me how to count the BPMs, and I would count the BPMs and mark the records. So then we would put the records in the crate, in order of BPM. And so when we were at the party, everything was organized and it flowed smoother. And, so we had, each crate had a genre in it, and each crate was lined up by BPMs, and so we were able to easily mix in and out of the records. But he was DJing a wedding one day, and I was being the nice girlfriend on the stage. I was being the DJ girlfriend on the stage. And he said, I got to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Can you just play that record that's already queued up? I'll be right back. I said, okay. Looking around, record was getting ready to go on. And I walked up there and I pushed the play, slid the slide fader over to the record. The record is playing, He's Not Back. He's Not back.
You gotta blend that.
I'm like, where's the... Okay, so I get another record and I put it in. My blending skills wasn't blending at that point in time, but I knew how to play some records, right? Put the other record on, called with a slide fade. Slide faded over to the other record, and the people was like, okay, okay. And about 10 records in,
He come back finally.
he ain't come back. He at the bar. He over at the bar. He's at the bar with the CEO, the C7 Sounds, him and Les Richmond. They just standing at the bar observing me play these records. I had a mild heart attack. My hands were shaking. I was trying to put the needle on the record and my hands were shaking. I was so nervous. And it kills me that people think DJing is so easy. They think we're just standing up there, just pushing a button and then all the magic happens. It's so much that's involved in DJing. You know what I mean? Aside from the technique, aside from song selection, you got to read the room. You got to be able to look and tell, what kind of crowds you have. Do you have, and this was a wedding reception. So you got all ages, all, you know what I mean? You got auntie and them over here. You got the little cousins over here that want to hear Belle Biv DeVoe and they want to hear B.B. King. You know what I mean? You got to figure out how to make it all work and make sense. Right. So that was who actually taught me how to spin. You know what I mean? He gave me the foundation. We got our music collections together, which I still have. He was the cornerstone, the foundation of everything that I've done since then.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. We're not married anymore, but the great thing is both of us are adults, so we're still the best of friends. I still consider him my mentor. He still calls me for house music. I still call him for steppers. Yeah, he still DJs. He's in Atlanta. He DJs out of Atlanta now. So my Kim Possibles evolved from my non-for-profit. I started a non-for-profit, Legacy Art Center for Education. Went through all the rigmarole, the state, the tax ID number, all the paperwork, all of everything, got it off the ground. And as soon as I got it off the ground, got the programs developed, it dealt with musical acumen. It was for kids, not just girls, it was for kids. Musical acumen, it was a piece for finance, because we don't teach our children anything about finance, anything about stocks, anything about budgeting their money. We just don't teach them that. There was a career development. Miss Nikki was actually in charge of the career development, and there was a STEM program. So I was ready to go. Let's get it started. I was getting ready to get a brick and mortar building for us to have our programs in, after school programs. I had just got tied to, my friend Gabrielle Hunter had got me linked to the public schools where I could do after school programs, and then COVID. So everything got put on hold. So when I came back, when outside opened back up, I said I would just take a group of girls and try to cultivate them. While we were in COVID, and I was looking at Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and the direction that our young girls are going in, the music they're listening to, the people they consider, you know what I mean? The people they look up to, like we had, Luke in them, but we also had Gladys Knight in them. You know what I mean? We had a balance of that. And it's not, now they're like being inundated with thinking that being disrespectful and, it's one Michelle Obama, but it's 1,000, you know what I mean? Bad examples of what a black woman should be. So I said I wanted to grab a group of girls, and my group had no number. Whoever wanted to, give me their babies, gave me their babies. And I started doing events with them. We rented out a theater. Jerome Orr was gracious enough to give us a theater, and we had movie night for the girls, and it was just them in the theater. So they could dance and they could sing and talk to the movie, the screen and all that without worried about interrupting anyone. We did a paint party. That was kind of like the first thing I did to get them acclimated to see each other, meet each other, and that kind of thing. I'm trying to put together right now I don't know what to call it, a brunch. Trying to put together a brunch for them now where they will have like etiquette and photo shoot, like a pamper day or whatever. I really want them to appreciate themselves, because you can't teach somebody else how to appreciate you unless you know how to appreciate yourself. You do. You have to. So I've got them, and then I've got a group of gentlemen lined up, dads, other guys, that are going to escort them and sit them down. And, you don't know how you're supposed to be treated unless you're treated that way. So I'm trying to get that together now. But it's a lot. It's a lot going on right now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you everywhere.
It's a lot. It's a lot going on right now, but I do love them, and they're growing up so fast, and yeah, I adore them. I want girls to know that it's and look at the situation we're in now, where we've got a presidential nominee
Right?
that's female. Yes, right. The future is female, and that's gonna be my slogan for this year. The future is female. Because I actually wanted to do that full time. I wanted to get grant money. I wanted to get the brick and mortar building. I wanted to transition from employment to running my non-for-profit. It just didn't work out that way. You know what I mean? Maybe after retirement, which is very soon. Looking forward to that. It's right down there, down the street. I can see it. And it really makes me mad when people say black women don't support each other and we hate on each other and we're this and we're that. Because I got more support from black women in everything I do, in DJing and makeup lines and the non-for-profit, everything. The sisters reach out to me and be like, what is it that you need? What is it how can I support? You know. Not gonna lie, I get a little bit of hate from the fellas. Most of the hate comes from the fellas. You know, I don't know what it is about that. Not gonna take away from the fellas that have been big brothers, because there have been a lot of gentlemen that have taken me under their wing and helped me advance in my endeavors. Shout out to them. Really, thank you so much for that. But yeah, I just want to put that out there because I'm tired of people saying that black women don't support each other. We do support each other. Just like anything, people are going to have differences, you know what I mean, in any walk of life. That's understandable. But for the most part, I've experienced nothing but good things from my sisters. Even sisters like First Lady, who's taking me to Amsterdam, so I can be heard internationally. Even sisters like Sundance, who put me on a radio station. Miss Nikki, who's been, you know, by my side. I actually used to babysit Miss Nikki when we were little.
What?
Miss Nikki. Lori Branch and Lady D, who I look up to. I gotta say that I try to pattern myself after Lady D and Lori Branch because I just think that they're just class acts. They're just phenomenal. All about business, all about the culture, all about moving things forward. You never hear anything bad about any of the, you know what I mean, about these ladies or whatever. And I appreciate that. Say the drama for your mama. Because we don't right, she don't want it either. So I made a remix. It was on Track Source. I was dabbling in trying to, make remixes and stuff like that because I did that with Stepper songs. And then I made a little remix for my birthday. It's called I Want It Rough. And I played it at my birthday party at the Loft. At the Loft. I played it at my birthday party at the Shrine. Yes, to Terry Hunter. And it got such a great reception. And I was like, oh wow, that's just, I just did a little loop and put the vocals on top of there and put a little razzle dazzle on it. And they liked it, right? So I played it next to a song that Mike Dunn made, and I was listening to the difference in the sound of it, So I said, I wonder if I send it to Mike, can he make it sound like his song sounds, right? He got sonic boom in his production, right? So, send it to Mike. I don't even know if Mike responded when I sent it to him. Whatever. Just send me the song, Alicia, So I'm at Reynolds, and I'm standing there, kind of observing everything, taking everything in. Mike gets on the microphone and says, "New music by Dee Jay Alicia." That was my face, too. I wish you guys could see her face. No music by Dee Jay Alicia coming out on Tease Box. I wish you guys could see her face again. I Want It Rough, featuring Black Widow, who is my best friend, Danielle, right? And he played it, and I just was standing on the stairs outside the DJ booth just bawling. Wow. Just bawling, right? And so I'm tearing up now. And so that kind of took my expectation of production from where it was to Mike Dunn status, right? Put the record out. Record was number one on track, so it stayed number one for a long time, right? So then he did another one with me called Groove Me. Black Widow again on the vocals. Another number one hit. Everything Mike does is like number one. Another number one hit. And then Mike started traveling all over the world. So it wasn't no more time Mike down to do no production. Mike doing his own production. He on Defected Records and all kind of stuff like that. So Mike was gone. So I'm like, okay, I guess production. So once you have a level of production at that scale, everything else you do is like, that's not quite rough status, not quite groovy status. So what I started doing was, and even though Terry has always been phenomenal, he'll be like, send it to me, Alicia. Whatever you make, just send it to me. Send it to me. I want to hear it. I want to hear your progression or whatever. I don't be sending Terry that stuff. Terry, I'm not sending you that. Terry Grammy nominated. I'm not sending you those songs. Terry doing songs with Beyonce, Mariah Carey, Raya Loud. I'm Terry. I'm not sending you that stuff. So I've just been doing my own thing, kind of just like practicing, working on it, trying to get better. So I produce stuff and I put it on Bandcamp just to get a feel of, because I got to get the creativity out of my head, whether it's on a big scale or a small scale or whatever. I still got to get it out. It can't stay bottled up inside me. So I've been making songs and putting them on. So periodically I put a couple songs on, on Bandcamp when I have time. Again, I'm retiring soon from work, and I'm going to have more time on my hands. So I'm hoping to do all of these things that I love to do. DJing, production, my non-for-profit, my cosmetic business. I'm hoping to be able to have more time to do those things real soon. So I'm looking forward to that. Can you tell a little bit?
Oh, I can tell. Your wings about to burst out your back in a minute now.
And something else. I got another big project. I can't talk about it yet. I know. I gotta leave. It's a suspenseful ending.
You got a cliffhanger.
It's a cliffhanger for season 2.
Yeah. You got a minute? White Sox home openers today. I need to run something by you. Can you scoop me? Alright, I'll see you in a few.
Why y'all always driving in the far left lane going slow? Get out the way.
Man, you guys road rage.
They need to get out of my way. This is my road.
Hey, we need to find somebody to work communications on the job. We gotta stay connected. See? That is exactly what I'm talking about.
Somebody for communication so we can stay connected. I mean, take care of that job.
What are you thinking about?
I got a guy. Mickey Cow.
Do I know him?
I think you do. You don't know him? Hold on, let me get somebody on the phone that can vouch for him. Hold on.
Yeah, you better do that.
Hold on one second. Yeah. Can you meet us in section 161?
I vouch for my man Mickey Calvin. He on that transitional op, he taking over whatever Mickey Calvin want to do. I vouch for him 100%.
I told you, Mickey Calvin. He got us saying that I worked with him on mattress, licorice project, and the black cat ops.
Alright, well, we're going to use them. We're going to need walkie-talkies. Definitely going to need some microphones, some hidden cameras. Everything got to be encrypted. Like yesterday.
I called in the top guy so he could vouch for him, just so you could be more secure.
He's our man. A very dangerous mission. He will do it.
Told you.